Ings, Temple Beth Shalom. We are back in, or continuing in the book of Deuteronomy. We are in Parashat Shoftim, Deuteronomy 16, verse 18 through Deuteronomy 21 through 9, and we are continuing on with Moses' third discourse. So the beginning of the Torah portion, Shoftim v'shotrim titen lecha, b'chol she'arecha asher Adonai Elohecha noten lecha lishvatecha, v'shavtu et ha'am mishpat tzedek. You shall appoint magistrates and officials for your tribes in all the settlements that the Eternal your God is giving you, and they shall govern the people with due justice. So this Torah portion, Shoftim, judges or magistrates, we are talking about the administration of law and the state laws, and we are talking about how the people of Israel are going to choose their leaders to make these rules, to not only to make them, but also to enforce them. If you remember way back in the book of Exodus, when Moses is talking to his father-in-law Jethro, or Yitro, and Yitro is saying to him, you are taking on too much responsibility. You will surely not be able to live your life this way forever. And Yitro reminded or taught Moses the importance of appointing judges. So we are being reminded here of that, of the significance of that. And it goes on to talk about if cases are too baffling to decide, whether it's a controversy over homicide, civil law, or assault, you shall probably repair to the place that the Eternal your God will have chosen and appear before the Levitical priests or the magistrate in charge at the time and present your problem. And they will announce a verdict in the case. So we see that it's not just the magistrates, it's also Levitical priests who are a part of this process. We see in chapter 18, the Levitical priests, the whole tribe of Levi, shall have no territorial portion with Israel. They shall live only off the Eternal's offerings by fire as their portion, and shall have no portion among their brother tribes. The Eternal is their portion, as promised. So everyone who offers a sacrifice, whether an ox or a sheep, must give parts of that sacrifice to the priest as their part of the sacrifice. Also, the part of the first fruits of the new grain and wine and oil, and the first shearing of their sheep. So we're basically being told here how the Levitical priests are going to survive since they don't own land, and that is the people are going to be helping them with giving part of their sacrifices to the Levitical priests. We're going to scoot over to this. Here we go. From among your own people, the Eternal your God will raise up for you a prophet like myself. That is whom you shall heed. So Moses is here. Myself is referring to Moses, and he's talking to the people that God is going to raise up a prophet who will take Moses' place, who will be the prophet. Of course, we know that Joshua and Caleb are going to be leading the people after Moses, but Moses is basically telling them that this is going to happen. And the note on the bottom of the page here says, a prophet like myself. This and verse 18 are the only instances where Moses refers to himself as Navi, as prophet. In the last verse, but 2 in the Torah, he is so called also by the author, the one who wrote the story. So let's scoot ahead a little bit here. Let's go on to chapter 20, verse 1. When you, an Israelite warrior, take the field against your enemies and see horses and chariots, forces larger than yours, have no fear of them, for the Eternal your God who brought you from the land of Egypt is with you. Before you join battle, the priest shall come forward and address the troops. He shall say to them, Hear, O Israel, you are about to join battle with your enemy. Let not your courage falter. Do not be in fear or in panic or in dread of them. For it is the Eternal your God who marches with you to do battle for you against your enemy, to bring you victory. So once again, Moses is reminding the people that God is going to be with them as they are going on these battles and taking the land they're coming up to. In verse 10 of chapter 20, we're told that when we approach a town to attack it, we shall offer it peace. If it responds peaceably and lets us in, then all the people present shall serve as forced labor. But if it does not surrender to us, then we are to lay siege to that city. Let's see here. Let's scoot over a little bit to the end of this portion. We're now at chapter 21, verses, let's go with 7, 8, and 9. And they shall make this declaration. Sorry, let's go back to 6. We have gone into a land we're being assigned by God to take charge of. And we're said, then all the elders of the town nearest to a corpse, if a corpse is found lying in the open, the elders of the town nearest the corpse shall wash their hands over the heifer whose neck was broken in the wadi. And they shall make this declaration, our hands did not shed this blood, nor did our eyes see it done. Absolve, Eternal One, your people Israel, whom you redeemed, and do not let guilt for the blood of the innocent remain among your people Israel, and they will be absolved of blood guilt. Thus you will remove from your midst guilt for the blood of the innocent, for you will be doing what is right in the sight of the Eternal. This is, of course, if you find a dead corpse in the way, and we understand that we do not want to have the continuous blood guilt on our hands. What an interesting way to end this Torah portion, but that is the end of Shoftim. So I will see you again next week for our next one. Shabbat Shalom.